I'm gonna give you the two biggest secrets to allow you to hit your iron shots more solidly. One of them has to do with what your body's doing, and the other one has to do with what your arm does through impact. So let's start with the body movement, and specifically it's our chest. So one of the biggest downfalls that I see a lot of golfers make with irons, because they feel like they have to hit down on the irons, a lot of times they'll keep their chest pointed down at the ground for too long, which is then going to affect how they release the golf club. So if this is like a laser coming out of my sternum here, this laser should point at the ground at address, then it should point at the horizon when I'm at the top of my backswing. It should work back down to the ground, and then it should start to work up to the horizon again in my follow through. And that's the key, keeping this chest rotation and chest extension going so that it'll allow me to then have my arms work properly through the hitting area. If my chest stays down for too long, it's gonna be impossible for me to do the right things with the club and my arms, because I'm gonna have no room to do it. So to create the room to allow my arm to release, and we'll get to that next, I need to feel like as I get through impact, my chest is starting to point up at the sky and at the target. And that's my key with my chest movement. Now, what does that do to the arms, and how does that affect the arms? Because the arms and the hands are our last link in that chain before we get to the golf club. So if my chest stays down too much, I have to separate my arms so that I don't hit the ground before I hit the ball. I'll hit it fat every time if I extend my arms and my chest is pointed at the ground, 100% of the time. So over the course of playing golf, a lot of golfers will start to make a compensation and pull their arms out and away from the ground and pull their elbows apart so that the club comes away from the ground. But that is not a good way to release energy into the golf ball. It's going to cause a lot of mishits, and it's going to rob you of a lot of speed and power. The real way we want to release the golf club is this lead elbow of mine should start to point down at the ground as I come through impact, right? So if I'm here, I get to impact, then that elbow points down and the club can release past my hands, just like this. If this elbow has to pull away and chicken wing through impact, the club's gonna work up away from the ground, but this is gonna put a lot of pressure on this elbow. That's why a lot of golfers have what we call golfer's elbow. It's purely from that move alone. So if my chest starts to work up and to the target, that will allow my arm to then extend and release and point down at the ground. Those two movements together are the keys to striking your iron shots solidly and not suffering from a chicken wing or casting the club coming down through impact. So a great drill is just what I just showed you. Make this movement with just your lead arm only. Halfway back, chest up into the target, and let that elbow point down. And just feel this movement. You could even hit golf balls off of a tee like this. It's fine. It's a little hard to do, but it's a great drill to help you feel what you're trying to do with that lead side through impact and making solid contact with your irons. Try that the next time you go out to improve your contact, generate more speed, and have more fun playing golf.